Food. Roast beef, mutton, breakfast, sugar, cranberries, milk, eggs, apple, towels, lunch, cups, rhubarb, single, fish, cake, custard, potatoes, asparagus, butter, end of summer. Sausages, celery, veal, vegetable, cooking, chicken, pastry, cream, cucumber, dinner, dining, eating, salad, sauce, salmon, orange, cocoa, and clear soup and oranges and oatmeal, salad dressing, and an artichoke. A center in a table. Roast beef. In the inside, there is sleeping. In the outside, there is reddening. In the morning, there is meaning. In the evening, there is feeling. In the evening, there is feeling. In feeling, anything is resting. In feeling, anything is mounting. In feeling, there is resignation. In feeling, there is recognition. In feeling, there is recurrence. And entirely mistaken, there is pinching. All the standards have steamers, and all the curtains have bed linen, and all the yellow has discrimination, and all the circle has circling. This makes sand. Very well. Certainly, the length is thinner, and the round rest, has a longer summer. To shine, why not shine? To shine, to station, to enlarge, to hurry the measure. All this means nothing if there is singing. If there is singing, then there is the resumption. The change, the dirt. Not to change the dirt means that there is no beefsteak. And not to have that is no obstruction. It is so easy to exchange meaning. It is so easy to see the difference. The difference is that a plain resource is not entangled with thickness, and it does not mean that thickness shows such cutting. It does mean that a meadow is useful and a cow absurd. It does not mean that there are tears. It does not mean that exudation is cumbersome. It means no more than a memory, a choice, and a re-establishment. It means more than any escape from a surrounding extra. All the time that there is use, and any time there is a surface, there is a surface, and every time there is an exception, there is an exception, and every time there is a division, there is a dividing. Any time there is a surface, there is a surface, and every time there is a suggestion, there is a suggestion, and every time there is a silence, there is silence, and every time that is languid, there is that, there, then, and, not oftener, not always, not particular, tender and changing, and external, and central, and surrounded, and singular, and simple, and the same, and the surface, and the circle, and the shine, and the succor, and the white, and the same, and the better, and the red, and the same, and the center, and the yellow, and the tender, and the better, and all together. Considering the circumstances, there is no occasion for a reduction. Considering that there is no peeling, there is no occasion for an obligation. Considering that there is no outrage, there is no necessity for any reparation. Considering that there is no particular sodden, there is no occasion for deliberation. Considering everything with which way the turn is tending, considering everything, why is there no restraint? Considering everything, what makes the place settle, and the plate distinguish some specialties, the whole thing is not understood. And this is not strange, considering that there is no education. This is not strange, because having that certainty does show the difference in cutting. It shows that when there is turning, there is no distress. In kind, in a control, in a period, in the alteration of pigeons, in kind cuts and thick and thin spaces, in kind ham and different colors, the length of leaning a strong thing outside, not to make a sound, but to suggest a crust. The principal taste is when there is a whole chance to be reasonable. This does not mean that there is overtaking. This means nothing precious. This means clearly that the chance to exercise is a social success. So then, the sound is not obtrusive. Suppose it is obtrusive. Suppose it is. What is certainly the desertion is not a reduced description. A description is not a birthday.
Lovely snipe and tender turn, excellent vapor and slender butter, all the splinter in the trunk, all the poisonous darkening drunk, all the joy in weak success, all the joyful tenderness, all the section and the tea, all the stouter symmetry, around the size that is small, inside the stern that is the middle, besides the remaining that are praying, inside the between that is turning, all the region is measuring and melting is exaggerating. Rectangular ribbon does not mean that there is no eruption. It means that if there is no place to hold, there is no place to spread. Kindness is not earnest. It is not assiduous, it is not revered. Room to comb chickens and feathers and ripe purple. Room to curve single plates and large sets and second silver. Room to send everything away. Room to save heat and distemper. Room to search a light that is simpler. All room has no shadow. There is no use at all in smell, in taste, in teeth, in toast, in anything. There is no use at all, and the respect is mutual. Why should that which is uneven, that which is resumed, that which is tolerable, why should all this resemble a smell? A thing is there, it whistles. It is not narrower. Why is there no obligation to stay away? And yet courage is everywhere, and the best remains to stay. If there could be that which is contained and that which is felt, there would be a chair where there are chairs, and there would be no more denial about a clatter. A clatter is not a smell. All is good. The Saturday evening, which is Sunday, is every weekday. What choice is there when there is a difference? A regulation is not active. Thirstiness is not equal division. Anyway, to be older and ageder is not a surfeit nor a suction. It is not dated and careful. It is not dirty. Any little thing is clean. Rubbing is black. Why should ancient lambs be goats and young colts and never beef? Why should they? They should, because there is no much difference in age. A sound, a whole sound is not separation. A whole sound is an order. Suppose there is a pigeon. Suppose there is. Looseness. Why is there a shadow in a kitchen? There is a shadow in a kitchen because every little thing is bigger. The time when there are four choices and there are four choices in a difference. The time when there are four choices and there is a kind and there is a kind. There is a kind. There is a kind. Supposing there is a bone, there is a bone. Supposing there are bones, there are bones. When there are bones, there is no supposing there are bones. There are bones, and there is that consuming. The kindly way to feel separating is to have a space between. This shows likeness.
Hope in gates, hope in spoons, hope in doors, hope in tables, No hope in daintiness and determination. Hope in dates. Tin is not a can, and a stove is hardly. Tin is not necessary, and neither is a stretcher. Tin is never narrow and thick. Color is in a coal. Coal is outlasting roasting, and a spoonful. A whole spoon that is full is not spilling. Coal, any coal, is copper. Claiming nothing, not claiming anything, not acclaiming everything. Collecting, claiming, all this makes a harmony. It even makes a succession. Sincerely gracious one morning, sincerely gracious, trembling, sincere in gracious, eloping. All this makes a furnace and a blanket. All this shows quantity. Like an eye, not so much more, not any searching, no compliments. Please be the beef, please beef. Pleasure is not wailing. Please beef, please be carved clear. Please be a case of consideration. Search a neglect, a sale, any greatness is a stall, and there is no memory, there is no clear collection. A satin sight, what is a trick? No trick is mountainous, and the color, all the rush, is in the blood. Bargaining for a little, bargaining for a touch, a liberty, an estrangement, a characteristic turkey. Please spice, please no name, place a whole weight, sink into a standard rising, raise a circle, choose a right around, make the resonance accounted, and gather green any collar.
To bury a slender chicken, to raise an old feather, to surround a garland, and to bake a pole splinter, to suggest a repose and to settle simply, to surrender one another, to succeed saving simpler, to satisfy a singularity and not to be blinder, to sugar nothing darker and to read redder, to have the color better, to sort out dinner, to remain together, to surprise no sinner, to curve nothing sweeter, to continue thinner, to increase in resting recreation, to design string, not dimmer. Cloudiness, what is cloudiness? Is it a lining? Is it a roll? Is it melting? The sooner there is jerking, the sooner freshness is tender. The sooner the round is not round, the sooner it is withdrawn in cutting. The sooner the measure means service, the sooner there is chinking. The sooner there is sadder than salad, the sooner there is none do her. The sooner there is no choice, the sooner there is a gloom freer. The same sooner and more sooner. This is no error in hurry and in pressure and in opposition to consideration. A recital. What is a recital? It is an organ, and use does not strengthen valor, it soothes medicine. A transfer, a large transfer, a little transfer, some transfer, clouds, the tracks do transfer. A transfer is not neglected. Pride, when is there perfect pretense? There is no more than yesterday and ordinary. A sentence of a vagueness that is violence is authority and omission and stumbling, and also certainly also a prison. Calmness. Calm is beside the plate and in, way in. There is no turn in terror. There is no volume in sound. There is coagulation in cold, and there is none in prudence. Something is preserved, and the evening is long, and the colder spring has sudden shadows in a sun. All the stain is tender, and lilacs, really lilacs, are disturbed. Why is the perfect re-establishment practiced and prized? Why is it composed? The result, the pure result, is juice and size and baking and exhibition and nonchalance and sacrifice and volume and a section in division and the surrounding recognition and horticulture and no murmur. This is a result. There is no superposition and circumstance. There is hardness and a reason and the rest and remainder. There is no delight and no mathematics.
Mutton. A letter which can wither, a learning which can suffer, and an outrage which is simultaneous is principle. Students are merciful and recognize they choose something. Hate rests that is solid and sparse and all in a shape and largely, very largely. Interleaved and successive and a sample of smell, all this makes a certainty a shade. Light curls, very light curls, have no more curliness than soup. This is not a subject. Change, a single stream of denting, and change it hurriedly. What does it express? It expresses nausea. Like a very strange likeness and pink, like that and not more like that than the same resemblance, and not more like that than no middle space in cutting. An eyeglass. What is an eyeglass? It is water. A splendid specimen. What is it when it is little and tender, so that there are parts? A center can place, and four are no more, and two are not middle. Melting and not minding, safety and powder, a particular recollection, and a sincere solitude. All this makes a shunning so thorough and so unrepeated, and surely if there's anything left, it is a bone. It is not solitary. Any space is not quiet. It is so likely to be shiny. Darkness, very dark, darkness is sectional. There is a way to see an onion, and surely, very surely, rhubarb and a tomato. Surely, very surely, there is that seeding. A little thing in is a little thing. Mud and water were not present, and not any more of either. Silk and stockings were not present, and not any more of either. A receptacle and a symbol, and no monster were present, and no more. This made a piece show, and was it a kindness? It can be asked, was it a kindness to have it warmer? Was it a kindness, and does gliding mean more? Does it?
Does it dirty a ceiling? It does not. Is it dainty? It is, if prices are sweet. Is it lamentable? It is not, if there is no undertaker. Is it curious? It is not, when there is youth. All this makes a line. It even makes no more. All this makes cherries. The reason that there is a suggestion in vanity is due to this, that there is a burst of mixed music. A temptation, any temptation, is an exclamation if there are misdeeds and little bones. Is it not astonishing that bones mingle as they vary not at all? And in any case, why is a bone outstanding? It is so because the circumstance that does make a cake and character is so easily churned and cherished. Mouse and mountain and a quiver, a quaint statute and pain in an exterior and silence, more silence, louder shows the salmon and mischief intender. A cake, a real salve made of mutton and liquor, a specially retained rinsing and an established cork and blazing. That which resignation influences and restrains more altogether. A sign is the specimen spoken. A meal in mutton. Mutton. Why is lamb cheaper? It is cheaper because so little is more. Lecture, lecture, and repeat instruction.
Breakfast. A change, a final change, includes potatoes. This is no authority for the abuse of cheese. What language can instruct any fellow? A shining breakfast, a breakfast shining, no dispute, no practice, nothing at all. A sudden slice changes the whole plate. It does so suddenly. An imitation, more imitation, imitations succeed imitations. Anything that is decent, anything that is present, a calm and a cook, and more singularly still a shelter, all these show the need of clamor. What is the custom? The custom is in the center. What is a loving tongue and pepper and more fish than there is when tears, many tears, are necessary? The tongue and the salmon. There is not salmon when brown is a color. There is salmon when there is no meaning to an early morning being pleasanter. There is no salmon. There are no teacups. They are the same kind of mushes as are used as stomachers by the eating hopes that make eggs delicious. Drink is likely to stir a certain respect for an egg cup and more watermelon than was ever eaten yesterday. Beer is neglected and coconut is famous. Coffee, all coffee, and a sample of soup, all soup, these are the choice of a baker. A white cup means a wedding. A wet cup means a vacation. A strong cup means an especial regulation. A single cup means a capital arrangement between the drawer and the place that is open. A price is not in language, it is not in custom, it is not in praise. A colored loss, why is there no leisure? If the persecution is so outrageous that nothing is solemn, is there any occasion for persuasion? A gray, turn a top and bottom, a silent pocketful of much heating. All the pliable secession of surrendering makes an ingenuous joy. A breeze in a jar, and even the silence, a special anticipation in a rack, a gurgle, a whole gurgle, and more cheese than almost anything. Is this an astonishment? Does this incline more than the original division between a tray and a talking arrangement, and even then a calling into another room gently with some chicken in any way? A bent way is that this is a way to declare that the best is all together. A bent way shows no result. It shows a slight restraint. It shows a necessity for retraction. Suspect a single buttered flower. Suspect it certainly. Suspect it and then glide. Does that not alter accounting? A hurt-mended stick. A hurt-mended cup. A hurt-mended article of exceptional relaxation and annoyance. A hurt mended. Hurt and mended is so necessary that no mistake is intended. What is more likely than a roast? Nothing really, and yet it is never disappointed singularly. A steady cake, any steady cake is perfect and not plain. Any steady cake has a mounting reason, and more than that it has singular crusts. A season of more is a season that is instead. A season of many is not more a season than most. Take no remedy lightly, take no urging intently, take no separation leniently, beware of no lake and no larder. Burden the cracked, wet, soaking sack heavily. Burden it so that it is in institution, in fright, and in climate, and in the best plan that there can be. An ordinary color. A color is that strange mixture which does not make a ripe juice, which does not make a mat. A work which is a real winding of the cloaking of a relaxing rescue. This which is so cool is not dusting. It is not dirtying and smelling. It could use white water. It could use more extraordinarily and in no solitude altogether. This which is so not winsome and not widened and really not so dipped as dainty and really dainty, very dainty, ordinarily dainty, a dainty, not in that dainty and dainty. If the time is determined, if it is determined and there is reunion with that then outline. Then there is that a piercing shudder, all of a piercing shouter, all of a quite weather, all of a withered exterior, all of that in most violent likely. An excuse is not a dreariness. A single plate is not butter. A single weight is not excitement. A solitary crumbling is not only martial. A mixed protection, very mixed with the same actual intentional unstrangeness and riding. A single action caused necessarily is not more a sign than a minister. Seat a knife near a cage, and very near a decision, and more nearly a timely working cat and scissors. Do this temporarily, and make no more mistake in standing. Spread it all and arrange the white place. Does this show in the house? Does it not show in the green that is not necessary for that color? Does it not even show in the explanation? And singularly, not at all stationary.
Sugar, a violent look, and a whole sample, and even then quiet. Water is squeezing. Water is almost squeezing on lard. Water Water is a mountain, and it's selected, and it is so practical that there is no use in money. A mind under is exact, and so it is necessary to have a mouth and eyeglasses. A question of sudden rises and more time than awfulness is so easy and shady. There is precisely that noise. A peck, a small piece not privately overseen, not at all, not a slice, not at all crestfallen and open, not at all mounting and chaining and evenly surpassing, all the bidding comes to tea. A separation is not tightly and worsted in sauce. It is so kept well and sectionally. Put it in the stew, put it to shame. A little slight shadow in a solid fine furnace. The teasing is tender and trying and thoughtful. The line which sets sprinkling to be a remedy is beside the best cold. A puzzle, a monster puzzle, a heavy choking, a neglected Tuesday. Wet crossing and a likeness, any likeness, a likeness has blisters. It has that, and teeth. It has the staggering blindly and a little green. Any little green is ordinary. 1, 2, and 1, 2, 9, second and 5 in that. A blaze, a search in between, a cow. Only any wet place, only this tune. Cut a gas jet uglier and then pierce in between the next in negligence. Choose the rate to pay and pet very much. A collection of all around. A signal poison, a lack of languor and more hurts at ease. A white bird, a colored mine, a mixed orange, a dog. Cuddling comes in continuing a change. A piece of separate outstanding rushing is so blind with open delicacy. A canoe is orderly. A period is solemn. A cow is accepted. A nice old chain is widening. Is absent, is laid by. Cranberries. Could there not be a sudden date? Could there not, in the present settlement of old age pensions, could there not be by a witness? Could there be? Count the chain, cut the grass, silence the noon, and murder flies. See the basting, undip the chart, see the way the kinds are best seen from the rest, from that and untidy. Cut the whole space into 24 spaces, and then is there a yellow color? There is, but it is smelled. It is then put where it is, and nothing stolen. A remarkable degree of red means that a remarkable exchange is made. Climbing all together in when there is a solid chance of soiling no more than a dirty thing, coloring all of it and steadying is jelly. Just as it is suffering, just as it is succeeded, just as it is moist, so there is no countering.
Milk, a white egg, and a colored pan, and a cabbage showing settlement, a constant increase. A cold in the nose, a single cold nose makes an excuse. 2 are more necessary. All the goods are stolen. All the blisters are in the cup. Cooking. Cooking is the recognition between sudden and nearly sudden, very little, and all large holes. A real pint, one that is open and closed, and in the middle is oh so bad. tender colds, seen eye holders, all work, the best of change, the meaning, the dark red, all this and bitten, really bitten. Guessing again and golfing again, and the best men, the very best men. Milk! Climb up in sight, climb in the hole, utter needles, and guess a whole guess is hanging, hanging, hanging. Eggs. Kind height, kind in the right stomach, with a little sudden ill. Cunning shawl to be steady. In white handkerchiefs, with little dots, in a white belt, all shadows, all singular. They're all singular and procured and relieved. No, that is not the cow's shame. And a precocious sound, it is a bite. Cut up alone the paved way, which is harm. Harm is old boat and a likely dash. Apple. Apple plum, carpet steak, seed clam, colored wine, calm scene, cold cream, best shake potato, and no gold work with pet. A green scene is called bake, and change sweet is bready. A little piece, please. A little piece, please. Cane again. To the presupposed and ready eucalyptus tree. Count out sherry and ripe plates and little corners of a kind of ham. This is use.
Tales. Cold pails, cold with joy, no joy. A tiny seat that means meadows and a lapse of cuddles with cheese and nearly bats. All this went messed. The post placed a loud loose sprain. A rest is no better. It is better yet all the time. Lunch. Luck and loose plaster makes holy gauge and nearly more states come in town light, kite, blight, not white. A little lunch is a break in skate, a little lunch so slimy. A west end of a board line is that which shows a battle beneath, so that necessity is a silk underwear. That is best wet. It is so natural, and why is there flake? There is flake to explain exhaust. A real cold hen is nervous with a towel, with a spool, with real beads. It is mostly an extra soul, nearly all that shaved with an old mountain. More than that bees, more than that dinner and a bunch of likes, that is to say, the hearts of onions aim less. Cold coffee with a corn yellow and a green mass is a gem. Cups. A single example of excellence is in the meat. A bent stick is surging, and might, all might, is mental. A grand clothes is searching out a candle, not that wheatly, not that by more than an owl and a path. A ham is proud of coconut. A cup is neglected by being all in size. It is a handle and meadows and sugar, any sugar. A cup is neglected by being full of size. It shows no shade. In come little woodcuts and blessings, and nearly not that knot with a wild bought in. not at all so polite, not nearly so behind. Cups crane in, they need a pet oyster, they need it so hoary and nearly choice. The best slam is utter, nearly beef freeze. Why is a cup astir and a behave? Why is it so seen? A cup is readily shaded. It has in between no sense, that is to say music, memory, musical memory. Peanuts blame. A half sand is holy and nearly.
Rhubarb. Rhubarb is Susan, not seed in bunched toys, not wild and laughable, not in little places and not in neglect and vegetable, not in fold coal age, not please. Single fish. Single fish, single fish, single fish, eggplant, single fish sight. A sweet wind, and not less noisy than saddle, and more plowing, and nearly well painted by little things, so please shade it a play, it is necessary, and beside the large sword is puff. Every way Oakley, please prune it near, it is so found. It is not the same. Cake. Cake cast in went to be, and needles, wine needles are such. This is today. A can experiment is which makes a town dirty. It is a little please. It is little please. We came back. 2 bore. Bore what? A must ash. Ash is where there is tin. This meant cake. It was a sign. Another time there was extra, a hat pin, sought long, and this dark, made a display. The result was yellow. A caution, not a caution to be. It is no use to cause a foolish number. A blanket, stretch a cloud, a shame, all that bakery can tease. All that is beginning, and yesterday, we had it met. It means some change, no someday. A little leaf upon a scene, an ocean anywhere there, a bland and likely in the stream a recollection Greenland, why white?
Custard. Custard is this. It has aches when. Not to be gnarly. This makes a whole little hill. It is better than a little thing that has real mellow. It is better than lakes, whole lakes. It is better than seeding. Potatoes. Real potatoes cut in between. Potatoes. In the preparation of cheese, in the preparation of crackers, in the preparation of butter, in it. Roast potatoes. Roast potatoes for asparagus. Asparagus in a lean too hot. This makes it art. And it is wet. Weather. Butter. Boom in butter. Leave a grain and show it. Show it, I spy. It is a need that flour, a state flour. It is a need that a state rubber, is sweet and sight and a swelled stretch. It is a need. It is a need that state rubber. Wood a supply. Clean, little, keep a strange on it. Make a little white, no, and not with pit on in within. End of summer. Little islets that have hammer, and a check with stripes between a lounge in wit. It is in arrested development. Sausages. Sausages in between a glass. There is red butter. A loaf of it is managed. Wake a question. Eat an instant answer. A reason for bed is this, that any decline is poison. Poison is a toe extractor. This means a solemn change. Hanging. No evil is wide. Any extra in leaf is so strange and singular. A red breast.
Celery. Celery tastes, where in curled lashes and little bits and mostly in remains. A green acre is so selfish and so pure and so enlivened. Veal. Very well, very well. Washing is old. Washing is washing. Cold soup. Cold soup, clear and particular, and a principle question to put into. Vegetable. What is cut? What is cut by it? What is cut by it in? It was a crest, a crescent, a cross, and an unequal scream. It was upslanting, it was radiant and reasonable, with little ins and red. News. News capable of glees. Cut-in shoes. Belike under pump of white chalk, all this combing. Waylay vegetable. Leaves in grass and mow potatoes. Have a skip, hurry you up, flutter. Suppose it is X, a cake. Suppose it is new mercy, and leave Charlotte and nervous bed Rose. Suppose it is meal. Suppose it is Sam. Cooking. Alas, alas the pull, alas the bell, alas the coach in China, alas the little put in leaf, alas the wedding butter meat, alas the receptacle, alas the back shape of muscle, muscle and soda. Chicken. Pheasant and chicken. Chicken is a peculiar third.
Chicken. Alas, a dirty word. Alas, a dirty third. Alas, a dirty third. Alas, a dirty bird. Chicken. Alas, I doubt in case of more go to say, what is a cress? What is it? Mean potato loaves. Chicken. Stick, call then, sticking with a chicken, sticking in an extra succession, sticking in chain boats. Chain boats are merry blue west carpet, pastry, cutting shade, cool spades, and little last beds make violet win. Cream. In a plank In a play sole, in a heated red left, there is shut in specks with salt, beware. This makes an eddy. Necessary. Cream. Cream cut. Anywhere crumb. Left hop chambers. Cucumber. Not a razor less, not a razor. Ridiculous pudding. Red and relet put in. Rest in a slender go in selecting. Rest in white. Widening.
Not a little fit, sun sat and shed more mentally. Let us why wait. Let us why winter chess. Let us why weigh. Only a moon to soup her. Only in that cell never be the co-cups nice be. Shatter it they lay. Egg ear nuts, look about. Shoulder, let it strange. Sold in bell next herds. It was a time when in the acres and late there was a wheel that shot a burst of land, and needless are niggers, and a sample set of old eaten butterflies with spoons. All of it are to be fled, and measure make it. Yet all the one in that we see where shall not it set? With the left and more so, yes, there add when the longer not it shall the best in the way when all be with when shall not for there with sea and chest how for another excellent and easy excellent and easy express easy. All that, all to be nice, all to be no so, all to be no so, all to be not a white old chat churner, not to be any example of an edible apple in. Dining. Dining is west. Eating. Eat-ting. Eating, a grand old man said roof, and never resoluble burst, not a near ring, not a bewildered neck, not really any such bay. Is it so? A noise to be it is it? At least remain to rest. Is it so? Old, say to be. Is it a leading our ben? Is it so? 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 Eelus with no p cool, cooler, no p cooler with a land cost in, with a land cost in stretches. Eating, he heat, eating, he heat, it eating, he heat, it heat, eating, he heat, eating. A little piece of pay owls, such as pie, bolsters. Will leap beat, willy well all. The rest, oxen, occasion, to be so purred, how. It was a ham, it was a square, come well, it was a square remain, not it a bundle, so is a grip to shed, bay leave, draught, bay leave, draw cider in low, and George is a mass. Eating. It was a shame to stare and double and relieve, to be cut up, show as by the elevation of it, and out more in the steady where the come on and the all and the shed and that. It was a garden, and belows straight. It was a pea pour. It in its not a succession, not it a simple, not it a so election with. Salad. It is a winning cake. Sauce. What is bay labored? What is all B section? What is no much? Sauce Sam in. Salmon. It was a peculiar bin, a bin fond in beside. Orange. Why is a feel oyster an egg stir? Why is it orange center? I show it tick and loosen. It so should speak, sat. It was an extra liquor with a C spoon. It was an extra liquor with a C spoon. Orange. A type, new, not, no, not. Kneeler of old show beefsteak, neither. Oranges. Build is all right. Orange in. Go lack, use to her. Cocoa and clear soup and oranges and oatmeal. Whist bottom, whist clothes, woodling. Cocoa and clear soup and oranges and oatmeal. Pain, soup. Suppose it is question. Suppose it is butter. Real is only excreate. Only excreate in no sense. No sense when. A no sense when since. A no sense when since. A no sense when since. A no sense. A no sense when since. A no sense. 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 Salad dressing and an artichoke. Please pale hot. Please cover rose. Please acre in the red stranger. Please butter all the beefsteak with regular feel faces. Salad dressing and an artichoke. It was please carriage cup and an ice cream. It was an ice cream. It was so bended with scissors and all the time. A hole is inside a part. A part does go away. A hole is a red leaf. No choice was when there was and a second. A center in a table. It was a way, a day. This made some sum. Suppose a cod liver is an oil. Suppose a cod liver oil is tunny. Suppose a cod liver oil tunny is pressed. Suppose a cod liver oil tunny is pressed in China and secret with a bestow reed. A reed to be, in a reed to be. Next to me, next to a folder some waiter. Next to a folder some waiter and re-letter and read her with her for less.